Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to this first episode on SAP Analytics Cloud Training with me Anubhav. Thank you so much for choosing this course on SAP Analytics Cloud. In today's episode, we will look at introduction of basic stuff with SAP Analytics Cloud. We will try to understand all the terminologies which we will be using throughout this course in a single session. As I promised, some of you coming from non-technical background, even some of you are joining from zero knowledge on SAP world. Don't worry, we will cover everything in this course so that you'll be able to become an expert on SAP Analytics Cloud. Before we start today's class, let us go ahead and first look at our training block. This is the place where you are going to go through all the video recordings of the sessions. Yeah, so that's our training block we will be using. So let me switch it over to the training block quickly. I'm sure you all would have got an email from my team about the training block for SAP Analytics Cloud. Let me just also open that up for you. So the training blog will be the single source of truth for all the information which you need about our training. All right, just give me a moment. Let me start that. And I will also again reshare my screen with you. Yes. So this is our training block. As you all can see, this is where you're going to get the video of every single class. So just in case you miss any class, you can go back and watch the video of the class over here. So remember, video recording will be available after 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., which is after the class is completed. It takes minimum 6 hours to make the video recording available to you, because we do convert them to an HD format, and this HD format will be available to you over Amazon Cloud Services. Hence, it takes time. So please note, here is where you're going to get the video over after the class. So class schedule will be available here in the schedule section. If there is any by chance cancellation of any class, you will always get to know over here in the class schedule. So you can see all our classes are scheduled over the weekends morning 7 o'clock India time. You can accordingly check your time zone for the classes. So that's our training block which we will be using throughout to be able to do practice and learn it. Yeah. Now, of course, when it comes to server access, I'm going to also talk about how to get access of SAP Analytics Cloud instance. So you're going to get also the instance of SAP Analytics Cloud Server, which is free. And all of these I'm going to discuss in our coming days and coming classes. All right. So that's something we will also discuss soon on the coming days and coming classes. So allow me some time. We will also be able to build this kind of screens. As you can see my screen, this kind of dashboards we will be learning how to build them, how to apply filtering, blending, modeling. All of this is will be covered in detail, including the terminologies. So let's get started today's class. Our main focus will be to understand the basics of SAP today. What is basics of SAP? Because many of you come from non-SAP background or even may not have a complete fair idea. So it's important that all of us have same terminologies understanding. You can also put your questions in the chat window during the class, and I will pick them up as and when I give a logical close to a topic. At the end of the class, we will also have a question answer round where you can unmute your line, and then you will also be able to ask the questions at very end of the session. All right. So in the demo session, we talked about Steve, what Steve does. So there's just a quick recap of the demo. So he's Steve. Steve is working as an IT consultant in a company. His main challenge is us to bring to the data at a central place and build dashboard and analytics on top of that data by doing data blending and data wrangling. And then this dashboard should be presented to the CEO or the CIO of the company. So Steve has two choices. Steve can go with an on-premise solution where their company has to install this software in the hardware. They need to purchase the expensive hardware to install this software. They need to also invest in networking and security, as well as consultants who will manage these servers. Then on the other side, Steve can also go with the cloud-based solution where there is no installation required in their company. Entire infrastructure to be able to manage such a solution and software is done by SAP directly or the solution provider. And Steve company will be paying a subscription fee on a monthly basis and usage basis to that vendor. So in the on-premise world, it is a licensing fee which they pay lump sum for 20-year, 10-year. They will own the hardware, they will own everything. But in cloud, they will not own any hardware, they will just use as they go. It's pay per use. So that's what Steve's will go for a choice. So SAP Analytics Cloud will help me as Steve. So you can see it is a software as a service connecting your people, data, and ideas from multiple sources to enable fast and confident decision making. So that's mainly SAP Analytics Cloud definition by the book. Now it allows user to discover, visualize, plan, and predict all at one place. So this is how Steve will now be able to use and collaborate with his CEO and build these dashboard. Of course, this is just in a nutshell what an on-premise and a cloud solution, and a SAP Analytics Cloud is actually a cloud native solution. We're going to talk about that more in detail, and we also discussed about what are all the courses and who all can join this course, and what is that we saw in the demo session. With this dashboard we created step by step in the demo session. So thanks for signing up for this course. And today's class we will just start with introduction of these basic terminologies. So all of us who come from different background should actually have same understanding. That's very important. We all must have same understanding so that we can actually be able to do things in a better manner, right? So that's what exactly we wanted to achieve. So let's start with same understanding. What is an on-premise and what is a cloud? The very first question of this class: what is the difference between an on-premise software and a cloud software? So let me start. What is an on-premise? An on-premise software requires following. So if you imagine you wanted to implement a on-premise software in your company has lots of departments: finance, marketing, sales, HR. How do you start with implementing a software in your company department? So option one is on premise, which is a classical way, which is what has been very popular since 1990s till 2010 or 2012. This was very popular. So an on premise software requires following. The first thing which is requires is hardware to be purchased, networking to be set up, license needs to be bought by paying lump sum. You need to hire professionals to maintain the system and health of the solution. Then what else? It's expensive. Initial investment is very high. Scalability is difficult to achieve, right? So these are all some of the things which you, when you look at an on-premise software. On-premise means your own home, yeah, your infrastructure, your own home. So a software which you install in your own company. Now to install this software, you need hardware, you need computers, you need operating systems, you need networking, you need licensing. So what you do is you pay, let's say, for 20-year license. You say, okay, you take this much amount, this is 20-year licensing fees. And license keeps get renewed on timely basis. You need to hire professionals. You need to hire people who manage these installation, who manage these software. Like in a SAP world, if you look at, SAP basis consultants, what they do? Their job is to maintain health of the system, manage users in the system, manage system performance, system setting, keep the system installation ready, upgrade the system on timely basis. All of this is your responsibility. You need to hire people, upgrade and new release, new patches is the customer's responsibility to apply, is on customer. So as a customer, I need to do upgrade and new patches. Initial investment is very high because you are buying hardware. Suppose I want to implement an SAP software. SAP software cannot be just installed in a simple Microsoft your personal laptop. It cannot be. It needs dedicated Linux servers with humongous amount of memory, minimum let's say 1 petabytes or 100 gigabytes of memory you need. So you need to buy such an expensive hardware, and hardware also you need to buy only from certified vendors. You can't buy from anyone. So initial investment is very high. Scalability. Suppose today my company is having 500 employees. Tomorrow my business grows and I grow from 500 to 5,000 employees. Now to achieve the scalability, I need to buy more and more and more hardware. I need to go and buy more licenses. Hence, the scalability is costly and it is also going to take time. I can't scale the system so easily. I need more networking, more people. So, scalability is difficult to achieve when it comes to on premise software. Now, what is the advantage? Since the initial investment is high, if you are sure that you're going to use it for years and years, the same solution, then you can say my cost is relatively going to, or the return is going to come out over a period of time. Okay. The data remains within my company, data never goes out. But that's not the case these days because most of the people would want to use your data, consume your data, at least some amount of data on the mobile. So then you have to also build a lot of other things on top of on-premise to expose the data on the internet. That's again becomes a challenge for on-premise system. So this is what an on-premise software looks like. Now let's look at what is a cloud-based solution or called cloud solution. Now let me take an example of on-premise solution. It'll be more clear. If you had heard about SAP ECC, what is SAP ECC? It's a on-premise solution. What is Microsoft Outlook? It's an on-premise solution. You need to install in your computer. You need to install in your computer. Microsoft Office. It's an on-premise solution. You need to have your own laptop. There you buy a license from Microsoft and install. SAP BW on-premise solution. SAP BobJ Business Objects on-premise solution. SAP BI on-premise solution. So till today, majority of SAP solutions were on-premise. On-premise. Okay. Now coming to cloud solution. So on-premise suitable for large corporations. Large corporations, they have a big IT budget, they can afford it, they can go for it. Cloud solution. What is a cloud solution? In the cloud solution, you consume the software as a service, also known as software as a service, SaaS. So you don't have to no installation required in your company. Yes. Now guys, since there is no installation required for the software in your company, then you don't need to buy hardware. You don't need to hire any security personnel and networking resource. Complete software is managed by vendor, including upgrades. Yeah. So since the software is managed by vendor, vendor only will take care of upgrades. Vendor only will take care of quality. Vendor only will take care of security, networking, operating system, hardware, everything is a duty of vendor. So how do you pay? On what basis will you pay? Here you were paying based on licensing fee. You were buying a license. But how do you pay in cloud? You will pay per use or pay per user. These are all the two different models you have in the cloud. Pay per use means how much is your usage. So whenever a project is started, you will decide, okay, I need maybe 100 gigs of memory. I need this processing power. So based on that, and I will be paying monthly basis, weekly basis, you can decide on your paying plan. Okay. Now, pay per user is, I'll say I don't want to know ki how much is the exactly pay per month. I want to know fix. I have my 20 users in my company, and based on that, I wanted to go ahead and use the software. So for 20 users, you tell me fixed price, how much you charge per month. So that is pay per use or pay per user. So what is an example of cloud? Gmail. Of course, Gmail is a free software as a service. Do you need to install Gmail in your local machine? Anyone? Can you please answer in chat window, everyone? Do you need to install Gmail in your local machine? Does it require to be installed in your local machine? No, 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 right? So you don't need to install Gmail in your local machine. That's the benefit of Gmail, correct? That's a benefit. So Gmail is a software as a service. Now, there are other cloud products coming in the market. Now, SAP themselves have come with a new solution called SAP S4 HANA, which is SAP's new ERP. This is also available in cloud, which means if your company want to implement ERP and you wanted to use that, then you don't need to install anything. Now, the biggest advantage of cloud is its low TCO, low total cost of ownership. Initial investment is very low. Okay, you don't have to invest a lot of money initially. Upgrades and all these things will be managed by system, and it's a fast adoption and faster innovation. You don't have to wait for, let's say, months and months for upgrades and new release. You will get quarterly release cycle these days, or some of the companies are having daily release cycle or monthly release cycle for their new version of the software. So you don't have to wait for long time. Okay, don't have to wait for long time. SAP S4 HANA, for your information, let me tell you, also available as a on premise solution as well, and it's also available as SAP S4HANA cloud solution. Now, similarly, what is an alternate of this BobJ, BI? What is an alternate solution of SAP BobJ, BI, Lumira? These are all some of the software you might have heard about or worked on. What is the alternate of their own premise solution in cloud? It's SAP Analytics Cloud. So if your company want to use a analytic solution where you can do the business intelligence, you wanted to build dashboards and nice charts, you wanted to don't invest initially on hardware, you don't want to purchase any hardware setup, buy or invest in people to set up things, you can go with a cloud solution. And that's where SAP Analytics Cloud comes into picture. As you can see, cloud, it's a software as a service available in cloud. Software as a service available in cloud, which means you just open your browser, start using it. Yes, no installation, no setup, nothing required in your local machine. You can access this completely on browser like Gmail. You open Gmail and you access it. For example, let me show you here. So this is my SAP Analytics Cloud system, as you can see, and I'm able to work with this system over here without any installation. I simply open my browser, put a URL, and I'm able to work with the system. Is that clear, everyone? What is SAP Analytics Cloud? It's a software as a service, which is an alternative of some of these on-premise solution. Now, important is to also understand SAP's strategy. Strategy in terms what will happen to these on-premise solutions? Will SAP discontinue these solutions, or will SAP remain these solutions active and parallelly maintain this and this? It depends on customer choice which one they want to go. Some large corporations, some customers, some companies, SAP is a big ecosystem. If you really see in general, there are about 3 lakh plus customers today SAP has. Yeah, 3 lakh customers, and it has about 30,000 partners. It runs 65% of world GDP. Your top 500 companies or Fortune 500 companies, they all use SAP. So the scale is so big, and we don't know which company would want which flavor. So cloud is one flavor, on-premise is another flavor. Depends on need and requirement. We will also understand in coming discussion strategy for SAP Analytics Cloud. What about this existing solution? What will happen to them? Will they remain? Will they discontinue? What is the strategy SAP showcasing when it comes to SAP Analytics Cloud? Now, guys, in short, SAP Analytics Cloud, if you see, it is also known as SAC. So we call it as SAC. So whenever you see this word called SAC, SAP Analytics Cloud, they are referring SAP Analytics Cloud. So don't get confused with these jargons. They name it as SAC. Now, let's try and understand what does the cloud offers. Okay, when it comes to cloud, what are all the offerings does the cloud has? So within the cloud, if you really look at anybody who's doing a cloud business, any software company who is doing the cloud business, there are mainly three stacks which are available. The first stack is called infrastructure as a service, called infrastructure as a service. So in infrastructure as a service, what is happening actually, you are able to host a computer. Let's say today I wanted to do some research. I am doing research on coronavirus. Now today I have humongous coronavirus data which is there across the globe. I have pattern and patient pattern, and it's like, petabytes of data, 200 petabytes of data. Now I want to analyze this data. I want to first store this data somewhere. Now what do I need to store the data? I need hard disk, I need RAM, correct? Now if I go and to the market and buy a RAM. Now RAM will cost me to store this petabyte of data. If I want to store it in RAM, it will cost me, let's say, whopping 5 to 6 lakh of rupees for having such a RAM. Now the coronavirus is just going to stay for, let's say, till December or for some time. It's not going to stay forever because medicine is going to come. So after December, maybe that hardware which I bought, the RAM I bought, is of no use because there are no more cases after December. So my initial investment to do analysis on coronavirus is so high. I have to go and spend millions of dollars to buy that expensive hardware. Now, what other ways I have? I can go to a cloud infrastructure as a service provider, and I can say, hey dude, can you give me a computer with 20 petabyte of RAM? And you give me it on rental basis. So it's actually renting out a computer on the internet. You go, you say, okay, you take, let's say, $500 a month. They already have large amount of infrastructure with them. So these infrastructure providers, they already invested heavily. They already invested billions of dollars to set up expensive computers. And these computers are available for you on sharing basis. You pay per use or pay per month. You say, I will pay just $500, and that way in a course of next 6 months you'll just end up paying like 3,000 or $30,000. Whereas if you would want to invest in hardware, your own hardware, you would have end up spending $1 million. So which is better? Infrastructure as a service is better, right? So now in this situation where you're not sure how long you're going to retain the system, or you wanted to just immediately start using it rather than procuring the hardware. Sometimes the hardware is not available in the market. You go to the market to purchase, let's say, buy such expensive RAM. it says we're going to import it for some time, it's going to take 6 months or 5 months. By the time your maybe use case has changed. So industry is changing very fast. So you go with infrastructure provider, you ask them, give me a computer on the internet to use, which is having this much gigabytes of RAM, this much gigabytes of processing power, and this much gigahertz of the hard disk speed. So that is what called infrastructure as a service in the cloud. Now, who are all providing these computers to us? So in the market, there is Amazon. You might have heard about AWS. They provide us computers. Then we have Microsoft, Azure, Amazon, Microsoft Azure. So these are all the companies who are providing, and Google. Yeah, Google also provide infrastructure now. It's called Google infrastructure. So they provide us expensive computers. You go to them, you ask them, hey, can you give me a computer? They will give it to you. You pay them for the computer. They will give it to you an online computer where you can work with this. Just to show you, if you go to aws.amazon.com, you'll get more fair idea. You can see here pricing plan, and you see AWS tire. So they also offer free trial for a trial purpose, and you see this instance, it gets with an operating system. Yeah, and in this you can choose how much gigabyte of memory you need. Yeah, how much gigabyte of memory you need. So you can actually go and choose the plan depending on your need. So you don't have to invest heavily on a computer yourself. You can hire a computer, or you can basically rent out a computer on the internet. Okay, and they have different pricing plans depending on the size you want, depending on the computing power you want, they can offer you. So that's one offering which is there today in the cloud, called infrastructure as a service. Okay, now second on top of it comes as platform as a service. What is platform as a service? So today you got a computer. Now, can you use that computer right away? Can you start building your application? Can you write a C program on that computer? Can you store data in that computer in a more organized way? You cannot. You just got a hardware with a basic operating system installed, but you can't still use that computer. It's not possible. What you need on top of this is a platform as a service. So platform as a service allows you to install support for programming. So on top of it, you need a couple of programming support, programming language, you need databases, you need scaling, you need queuing feature, you need dispatchers, you need web proxies. So you need lots of stuff to be able to build a software on this computer which you got on internet. So a platform as a service allows you all the programming support you need. It includes everything: programming languages, different languages like Java, Node.js, HANA, databases like HANA, MySQL, PostgreSQL, scalability, queuing like RabbitMQ for queuing your data, for preparing your number of requests which are coming, for tracking all these support which you need. So anyone ever started with programming language, you need to install C compiler in your system. You need to install database. You need to install Java. All these installations which you need, they are packaged together as a platform as a service. So once you have a platform as a service, you can actually install all the required services on top of infrastructure to start building applications. So that's called platform as a service. There are a lot of companies in this. There is something called ESO2, not a popular name. And then we have Ocean Cloud, which is a very popular name. We have Cloud9. Then we have SAP Cloud Platform. So in our context, we have SAP Cloud Platform. So what is SAP Cloud Platform? Look at this name, Cloud Platform. Look at this word, platform. So here you also see platform. So what is SAP Cloud Platform? It's a platform as a service provided by SAP, where you get all the support for yourself to be able to work with the to be able to build an application. Now let me also show you that. So where do you go and check? cloudplatform.sap.com. If you go there, cloudplatform.sap.com, you will see this is how it looks. And in cloud platform, this is how you will get. You can also register a free trial here. So maybe in some time towards the end of this course, we will also be using some features of cloud platform. So I would also recommend you can also go ahead and register here on cloudplatform.sap.com for a free trial. You can do that. So now if you come inside cloud platform, you will see here lots of free services provided by SAP. It's a trial, so you get a lot of free services. If I go inside services, my cloud platform, and we just go inside, you will see inside this, so many services will be there inside of this, which they offer. So I'm creating just quickly an account. So if you come to the capabilities of SAP Cloud Platform, you can see here you will find all the services and capabilities they offer. So let me just come, and here you will see all the services they offer, all the products. You see platform availability, regions, infrastructure, environments, different languages they support, accessibility, integration. So SAP Cloud Platform is a bunch of platform as a service which offers you lots of capabilities. It offers you all the support you need to get started with the development of your software in the cloud. So everything is pre-installed, pre-configured. You simply start with SAP Cloud Platform and you're gonna get everything out of the box. Everything out of the box. Let me just quickly go back and see if it has started my cloud platform. So I'm gonna go log on to my trial. It's still creating. So you can always go and check here. So in this case, actually SAP is offering two types of platform as a service within this. And if you see, this one is called Neo and there's one more called Cloud Foundry. So you see these are all the services you have. See, data quality, Java app service, HTML5 app service, identity provisioning service, key store service for storing passwords, Java debugging service, monitoring service, authentication service, you know, SAP translation service, Web IDE service for development of Fiori application, HANA as a service for database storage. So they are offering all these services on the internet for you. So SAP Cloud Platform is available in two flavors. One is called Neo and another is called Cloud Foundry. Okay. One is called Neo and one is called Cloud Foundry. What is the difference? So Neo means this infrastructure which you see. In case of Neo, this infrastructure is owned by SAP. But when you use SAP Cloud Platform, Cloud Foundry flavor, in this infrastructure is owned by either AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google. So infrastructure option you have to choose from. When you go with infrastructure, when you go with the Cloud Foundry, you can choose one of these infrastructures in the company. Okay. Cloud Foundry has more features as compared to Neo. Neo is available free for lifetime. Cloud Foundry trial is available for 90 days. But we will not be using SAP Cloud Platform because this course is not a programming course. This course is for anyone who willing to learn UI5. Zero programming knowledge required to learn this course. We're not going to use SAP Cloud Platform actually to be able to build any programming. Okay, we are not doing any programming. So we will not do anything much in cloud platform. Okay, but it's important to understand these layers. These terminologies are very important, and you whenever you hear what is SAP Cloud Platform, what is Neo, what is CF, these things you need to understand the terminology. So that's why I'm explaining. Now on top of it, finally, once developers, so you as a developer, you work with this. If you are at all a developer in your company, you work with this and then you build a software. Now that software which you had built, it's actually a cloud native software. which means that software can run on cloud. Anybody from anywhere, any device, anytime they can access over the internet. It's a software on the cloud, on the internet. So that application which you create on top of this platform is called SaaS, software as a service. So the application which you build on top of this platform is called software as a service. The application, the final application which comes out is called application as a service. This is the app we share with our end user, and they can access over internet without any installation in their system. Now, if I take an example of Gmail, Gmail is what? Gmail is an application as a service which is built by Google on Google Cloud Platform. Okay. Gmail is a application as a service which is built by Google on their Google's cloud platform. Infrastructure is also Google, cloud platform also is Google. Google also has their own cloud platform. Let me show you. So here you see Google Cloud Computing Services. They also offer you programming support. They also offer you a platform where you can go and program and you can build applications on top of this Google Cloud platform. So Gmail is actually a software as a service which is built by Google on their own platform. That's why you don't install anything to use Gmail. You simply open gmail.com. You are able to use the email application. That's a software as a service. Now, this is where I'll show you the example of software as a service as Gmail. And you see SAP Analytics Cloud. What is it? This is also an application, end user application. So as a user, you can start using it directly. Bye bye to those old ways where you need to wait for 6 months for installing an SAP BobJ system or SAP BW system. No more needed. Today, right at this moment, you can start with SAP Analytics Cloud without buying any hardware. Simply get started. Simply get started with the software. Now, how these cloud vendors reduce the implementation cost? Remember, I talked about implementation costs, total cost of ownership. How do they reduce the cost? Because the hardware is very expensive. You need a hardware with so many gigabytes of memory. Now, if I just use this and give it to you, then it is very expensive for me. How Amazon AWS is making profit out of it? In spite of giving you a gigs of memory of computer to use, how are they making profit? How is it profitable for these companies? What do they do so that it's profitable? So what they do is to reduce the cost that the cloud works on the infrastructure is and applications, of course apps also, are used on sharing basis. Why sharing basis? Sharing basis means I have one computer. This computer has 600 gigabyte of memory, but I have now six customer who don't want 600, who want 100 gigabyte. So I am gonna slice my system in six parts. I will say this first 100 GB is for you, second 100 GB is for you, third 100 GB is for you. So I will onboard six different customers on this single machine. I will share it with everybody. Okay, I will buy one system with 600 gigabyte RAM. Six customer need 100. I can share this infrastructure with all of them, because think about a rule of the game. If you want a server, I suppose I get a customer, and one customer from America, one customer from India. Now I got a request of, let's say, 200 gigabyte, and I have one system with 200 gigabyte. So when America is in morning, India is in evening. India is in morning, America is in evening. So I know Indian guys are gonna maximum use system during morning hours, India time. So American that time are sleeping, and Americans when they are using, Indians are sleeping. So I can also manage that way my server by sharing basis. That system load will also be less, and I distribute my load between different regions. So there are multiple tactics and multiple ways by which they do sharing of same infrastructure with multiple people. That way total cost of ownership is reduced. You all know that when we share things, we save money, right? Like Uber pool, when you do a Uber pool, you save money. Rather than booking a cab from point A to point B for yourself alone, you pay more. But when you share, when you pool, you pay less. So that's how they reduce the cost of implementation, their cost, and they may maximize their profit. And for customer also, it's a win-win. Customers will not realize that this infrastructure is shared by somebody else. They will work with their own 100 gigs of memory. So then the question comes, Anubhav, how do they separate data then? Because the same system you are giving access, how will they separate data? So in database there is a concept called schema. So when you are giving, let's say, a database, I've got a database here of 100 gigabyte and two people need 50-50. So I can separate and break down my database into two schemas, 150 GB, 150 GB. So that's something which we do typically in case of databases. So similarly, there are different scaling possibilities possible. In a way, that's something which we really don't care how that happens, but understand it's basically pooling. The same system is shared across multiple users and multiple use cases. So that's what brings me to the next point. This infrastructure is used on sharing basis, and each customer who is sharing these resources is called tenant. Is it clear what is a tenant? The definition of a tenant? So what is paying guest? Have you been into any PG, guys? PG or hostel in your life, in school days, college days? Yes, tenant. So when you go a PG, what you do? You're not owning that house. You are living there as a paying guest, PG. So you are a tenant there. You are just paying rent monthly basis, and you are being a tenant. Similarly, here in this world, a customer who is sharing these resources, even it could be software as a service, platform as a service, or infrastructure, anything they can share. Whenever they're sharing this, their data is separated by means of multiple schemas. They will be sharing this with others, but others will not know that they are really sharing it, because there is a separate schema for each person. And this customer who's sharing the resource, who is actually your customer here, is called tenant. It's not called customer, it's called tenant. In case of on premise, it's called on premise customer. But in case of cloud, a customer is named as tenant. Is this clear, guys? What is definition of tenant? Because many times you may hear this, you may encounter this word. Don't confuse. Tenant is nothing but a customer who's sharing the cloud resources with others, is called tenant. It's very important to understand these terminologies before we get into this SAP Analytics Cloud, because if you get into it and if you don't understand these terminologies, one day you will get confused. So that's why today's class is mainly focusing on all these theories to make you understand what is a tenant, what is an infrastructure as a service, what is a platform as a service. Yeah. Now, so that's about what cloud offers and what is a tenant all about. Yeah, this is called tenant. Now you also understood what is SAP Cloud Platform. So in, let me write also definition for SAP Cloud Platform. If somebody asks you in interview what is SAP Cloud Platform, is a platform as a service which provides support for developing applications in the cloud. So SAP Cloud Platform is a platform as a service which provides support for developing. It offers so many services like database as a service, programming language as a service, okay, monitoring as a service. You saw a lot of services. It is available in two flavors. First is Neo. SAP Cloud Platform Neo is where the SAP owns the infrastructure as a service. The second comes is SAP Cloud Foundry CF, where infrastructure is AWS, Google, or Microsoft Azure. So this is what in a nutshell SAP Cloud Platform is. I hope you are clear, guys, the definition, what is a tenant and what is an SAP Cloud Platform. Now, next thing, what is a region or what is a data center or region? Now, guys, what happens is when you are hosting such a infrastructure or such a platform, there are people who are going to use your services across the globe. There are people who are going to use your services across the globe. People sitting in India, Japan, Russia, Ukraine, US, UK, different countries. So what they do is, these cloud vendors, suppose there is only one infrastructure server you have, all the load will come to that single server. Will be dangerous. Yeah, will be dangerous. If that single server is down, everybody will be down. So what they also have is, they have scalability and elasticity achieved using data centers. So these cloud vendors, to achieve scalability and elasticity, they use or they have servers across globe. Now, let me take you also one more example. In Europe, there is a special law. That law says if any company running any software in Europe, they must they must comply to GDPR, General Data Privacy Protection Law. It's a law passed by European Union in 2018. So they are saying that any company who want to do business, who want to use software, their data should not leave European region. Their data must be in Europe only. They cannot have their data stored outside Europe. If you want to use any software, we don't allow. Any European firm or company who is doing business in Europe, their data must be stored in Europe only. What will you do? Will you stop making softwares for Europe? No. You will go and you will buy a machine in Amazon cloud in Europe region, because Amazon offers the services for their infrastructure in multiple region. Similarly, SAP also offers SAP Cloud Platform services, both Neo and Cloud Foundry, in different regions. So that's what called data center or region, where the cloud vendors, to achieve scalability, elasticity, and compliance, they have servers across the globe in different regions. So that's called data center, where your data is stored, where your application is stored. It's stored in a data center. Now this gives a lot of advantage in case of, let's say, natural calamity. Suppose suddenly there is earthquake came in a one region, all your data can be safeguarded from that region to another region to support customers. Second, load balancing. A European customer or a European user of your mobile app will connect to nearest data center so that they get better response, faster output, because they are connecting to European data center, not the India data center. If a user connect, let's say I open my mobile app, then it will automatically know that I am in India and it is going to connect to my India data center. So that's what data center is actually does, data center or region. So when you are actually going with SAP Cloud Platform or SAP Cloud Platform also, you will also see here there is something called region information. So let me just quickly check that. SAP Cloud Platform region or data centers. Yeah, if I go there, you can go and see here all the data centers and regions. I'm going to also give you this link, guys, so you see SAP Cloud Platform regions and service portfolio. So you see they have SAP's own Neo infrastructure, which is in yellow dots. Then It's powered by AWS, Azure, GCP, and Alibaba also they've added. So Alibaba only in China because China's government is very strict. They tend to hide everything. So they store everything. They only allow storing of their data in Chinese servers and Chinese data centers, which is hosted by Alibaba. So you see, the data center for Alibaba is only available in China. But then we have GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Azure and AWS, and you see there are different data centers. See, and each data center is also offering some services which are common, some unique services also they offer in their different data centers. You see, so many data centers they have across the globe to host different services. Clear everybody what is data center? And you can also come down and see which service is available in which data center. Yeah, see which service is available in which data center. You can see here. Now if I say SAP Analytics Cloud, you see SAP Analytics Cloud is also a service, application as a service. It's available both in Neo and Cloud Foundry. You see, it's available in Neo and Cloud Foundry. Some features of SAP Analytics Cloud is not available in Neo, like for example planning feature. If you want to do machine learning with SAP Analytics Cloud, which we will also learn in this course, also then that service is not available in Neo. That's only available in Cloud Foundry, and with the Cloud Foundry these are all the regions you can choose from. So if you are working in Singapore, you have a good choice, you will go with this Singapore. So actually when you buy SAP Analytics Cloud in your company, SAP will see where are you coming from and what is your nearest data center. So they will enable the cloud SAP Analytics Cloud service in the nearest data center. If you are, let's say, working in France, so what is nearest data center is Euro Frankfurt. So they will enable this SAP Analytics Cloud service in European region in the Frankfurt. And that's why whenever you get your URL, you can actually check with the URL of SAP Analytics Cloud, which your company has got from SAP, which region your server is. Suppose I go back. Now you see here this. Can you see this URL? This is a trial. I'll show you how to get this trial. So if you carefully observe this URL, let me copy this URL in a notepad. Now, if you observe this, can you see this EU10? EU means European Union. So for this trial server, which I am using today here, the data center which they I am connected to Europe. They are hosting this trial instance in the Europe. It's a Europe data center where they are hosting this. All my data is getting stored in Europe. Okay, so using this, sometime you get here US2 something like this, which means that data center is in US. Sometime you get AU, Australia, yeah, something like this. So this way the URL of the SAP Analytics Cloud, you can easily know which data center. You see again here EU10, which data center your application is hosted, your SAP Analytics Cloud is hosted. So whenever your company is going to buy SAP Analytics Cloud plan, they will ask you. Sometimes they ask you also which data center you want to configure and provision SAP Analytics Cloud service. So this will be a question which also can be asked to you as an SAP Analytics Cloud expert in your company by your admin or by your CIO, which data center shall we choose? So what you should do, you should go and check which country you are, and then you can come here to this URL. Let me also give this link to all of you in the PPT. So check data centers here. So let me make it as a clickable link. So guys, you get this PPT. So you click on this link, it will take you. So that time you can come and check here. SAP Analytics Cloud, Cloud Foundry. Go with Cloud Foundry. It has all the latest features of SAP Analytics Cloud. Now it's available on AWS, Alibaba. Only two infrastructure providers are supported, which means if your company have a Google Cloud, Google's infrastructure as a service today, you can't use Analytics Cloud. you have to mandatorily buy AWS or Alibaba, okay, for only China. Now, since majority of you are out of China, of course, you are must be in some of the reason. You have to have, of course, an AWS service bot, which SAP will provision for you. For they will charge you for this infrastructure also. They will also charge you for Cloud Foundry cloud platform, and they will charge you for this application as a service. So you see, your infrastructure as a service, your platform as a service, and your application as a service. All three they will charge you for. Behind the scene, all SAP will do that. They will just ask you which data center you want. So what you can come here, you can check Analytics Cloud, Cloud Foundry, AWS, and you see the data centers. These are all the available ones today. So this can change. So always refer the link. It can change anytime. More data centers keeps get added by SAP. So now what you do, suppose I am in India, what is nearest? Singapore is nearest, right? So I'll go with Singapore data center or Australia data center. That is what you should choose. You should tell your CIO that we go with Singapore or Australia. Okay. Suppose you are in, let's say, you are in Denmark. You will probably go with the Europe data center because that is nearest. You are in, let's say, Toronto, then we don't have any Canadian data center as of now available for SAP Analytics Cloud. So you'll go with US. In US, I think they have only one right now, but maybe they can also add something on East Coast later on. Oh, this is East Coast, so they can add it something for West Coast later. So you can always go and check here. This is first question which will be asked to you: which data center shall we choose? Come to this link, find SAP Analytics Cloud, what are all the available offerings for infrastructure options, and which data center to choose. So you can tell. So I'm in India. So 3 weeks ago in my company, we were having a provisioning meeting for second tenant which we are buying. And that was for India. We are buying another tenant of SAC. They asked me this question: Anubhav, which data center do you think we should go with? So I told them go with Singapore because that is closest to us. Yeah, in India. So we go with this one actually. Clear everyone? How do you go and tell? Now I think you are all clear what is these things, terminologies, what is a tenant, what is cloud platform, what is data center, and what is the region, where you can see which services are offered in which regions. Okay. So this is about basics of cloud. I hope all of you are clear. Now guys, at this time, I would give an opportunity to all of you to please ask your questions. Any questions you have, feel free to ask on these topics. Any questions? You can unmute your line and ask. It is always recommended to choose nearest data center. If you by mistake choose a different one, it's okay. But sometimes, you may see a lag when you are building stories and dashboards, which we will learn. You will see a lag actually because you're sitting far from the data center. So try to select a data center which is closest to you. You're going to get better performance. Obviously, if your server is near to you, you're going to get better performance. Now, the question, very important question, which was also asked to me some time back: can I change the data center? Once, let's say, my company decided Europe, can I change it? Answer is no. If decision has been made by you and your company that we want to go with this data center, you cannot change. Okay. Second thing, is machine learning available in Neo? If I go with infrastructure option, sorry, platform option as Neo, no. You have to be very careful and look at the services offered by SAP. Okay, services offered, which data center, what services SAP is offering. So some of the times you by mistake choose Neo, you tell them Neo, and then you see machine learning you can't do in Neo. So that time you will have problem. So be very very careful. You should go with the Cloud Foundry only with AWS. Second question which also they may ask you is, our company already buy Google's infrastructure as a service, we already purchased long back. Can I reuse that same for provisioning Analytics Cloud? Answer is no. Analytics Cloud as a service, software as a service, only supports AWS at the moment. Doesn't support Google, Alibaba, and anything else. So you see, you have to ask SAP to provision AWS also. So SAP will provision all three for you. Behind the scene, they will actually activate subscription for all three for you. SAP will do that. SAP already did partnership with AWS, Alibaba, Google Cloud Platform, and Azure. So behind the scene, they will automatically set up machines required, everything they will manage. Remember, vendor. Vendor will manage it. You don't have to worry. Do you know what is the size of basis team for Analytics Cloud? Can anybody guess and tell me on the line? What is the size of basis team who manage the software for Analytics Cloud? Basis team size? Zero. Zero. Yes, zero. You don't need a single basis person. That's why a lot of basis people are losing their job, because more and more companies buying cloud solutions. So here infrastructure, security, networking, all of it is managed by vendor itself. You just open the system, start working with it. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a quick break here for 5 minutes. After the break, we will start introduction of our own premise solution, like what is BW, what is BI, what is BPC, what is S4 HANA, what is HANA. We will discuss all of this in our next discussion. We'll take a break for 5 minutes and come back.
This is Rajesh here.
Yes, please.
First of all, many thanks. It was an awesome difference between the on-premise and cloud. So, and in our organization, it's basically Azure. So, what I understood that if we need to leverage the SSE
Mhm.
over Azure, it may not be supported directly.
It's not. It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah, yeah. But as you are telling that SAP has already partnered with Azure,
Mhm.
so so but in near future will it it may come up, right?
It may come up. It may come up. But today, when you buy SAP Analytics Cloud subscription, what you will see is
Yeah.
they only supporting AWS. You can see availability metrics here. Na? If somebody asks you this question, you should prove your
Mhm.
point. You can show the data. You can say, see, it's written here. And I'm not saying this. SAP is saying this.
Yeah.
Help.sap.com. So you can go, and
Yeah.
if
That's
you get into any debate with any colleague, don't get into any
yeah.
debate. Just open this link. I put the link also in PPT. Just open this up
Yeah.
and show them. See, it's not supporting Azure. See,
Yeah.
it's clearly written here.
That's cool.
What is which service of
Yeah.
SAP is supported on which account? You see here. So HANA service is supported on Azure. Is also
Yeah.
supported on GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Yeah, it's also supported on AWS. So you can always go and check. But when it comes to SAP Analytics Cloud, which is software as a service, only supported on AWS, we can see that. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Many thanks.
Mhm.
And also, that's one more questions which I have already asked about gathering requirements for deploying an SSE infrastructure. If you have time, you can just get back
Uh,
on that.
no, remember here the entire solution is managed by vendor. So you don't have to have any requirement gathering for deploying. The system will be provisioned by SAP, and they will give you a URL. This URL you will get.
Mhm.
That's all. You don't have to do any deployment yourself. Now, I guess you called me about 2 weeks ago for asking a question about requirement gathering from the use case perspective, right? Is that what your question
Yes,
is?
requirement. Yeah, yeah, requirement gathering from the
Okay.
use perspective.
Use case
Yeah.
perspective. How will you
Yes.
gather functional requirement from your colleagues about what they want to do? Okay. So don't worry.
Perfect. Yes.
I have prepared a document. You see this one, software requirement
Yeah.
specification document. This I promised you I'll give you when you subscribe for the today.
Mhm.
I'll share it. So you see,
Yeah.
Ann Jackson, 30-year-old young IT product expert with strong interpersonal skill. So this is how you write user personas. This is how you write
Yeah.
job functions. This is how you write business stories. This is how you present your data. This is how you write complete requirement. And this is what a unique offering with Anubhav trainings you're not gonna get anywhere in the world. I can openly challenge. No training company today offers this kind of documents. You see, prototype. I wrote it with my own pen and pencil. See,
Awesome.
So this is how you draw
Awesome.
the mock-ups, you draw the samples. What is that is the requirement. You completely draw every single detail you collect. Requirement one, two, three, four. How should it perceive it? Any coding requirement, who all should be involved, and how should your final outcome should look like. This is what
Awesome.
I have done it, and I will share it in the hopefully next to next class with you, so that
Yeah.
you can also draft a similar document like this. This is the right way of drafting any requirement. Okay. So this is already planned. Don't worry. We have these case study
Okay.
cases. Everything is planned. So you will learn all of this. Don't worry.
Yeah. So for deployment, nothing is required. For deployment,
No,
if it be it any number of users,
no.
be it any number of things, let's say
For
it's like,
deployment, whenever your company is buying subscription for SAC, that time you have to just go and they will ask you a couple of questions. Which data center you want? How many users you have? Yeah, these kind of basic questions they
yeah.
will ask. So you will also be able to now tell which is the infrastructure you can it supports, what
Yeah.
data center you want. That I already showed you. So other than that,
Yeah.
the deployment part SAP will take care. It's a vendor managed solution, software as a service. It's a cloud solution, software as a
Mhm.
service, right?
Yeah. Cool.
Tell me,
Many
what is
thanks.
it between single tenant and multiple tenant?
Single tenant is okay, good question. So if you remember what is a tenant, we already discussed. Tenant is a guy who is having a user in that who's actually living on that system, right? So single tenant means sometime I am a big corporation, I'm Nestle, or I'm Hindustan Unilever, or I'm ONGC, or I'm Reliance. I'm a big corporation, big IT budget. I have billions of dollars with me. I want to still use cloud. I want to use cloud, but I don't want anybody else to share with me. So my specific requirement is, hey Amazon, give me a computer with 500 petabytes of memory, but make sure that all 500 is allocated to me. It's a single tenant. Are you understanding? I am owning that entire thing. I am the only one in that. That way I get more flexibility. I can ask Amazon to change certain system parameters because it's I'm owning it. I'm paying more for you. I'm paying more for it. So I can ask Amazon to change more parameters. What is multi-tenant? Multi-tenant is what I told you. Sharing. It's a pooling. In multi-tenant, multiple people sharing that system to reduce the total cost of ownership. See guys, in world there are so many small companies. They can't afford large computers. They don't have that much of IT budget. So they go to Amazon. Amazon will offer them such a price which nobody can offer. And I'll show you some of the companies. They offer a website hosting in just $5 a month. Yes. So let me show you one of the cloud vendor. It's a platform as a service, Ocean Cloud. So they offer in platform at just $5 a month. Can you believe that? It's as cheaper. How it is possible? Because it's a multi-tenant environment they offer. You will not realize from your side, but behind the scene actually system is actually offering you a multi-tenant. So you see 1 GB memory, one v CPU, 1 TB of transfer speed, 25 GB of hard disk at a rate of 0.00007 dollar per hour and $5 a month. It's as cheaper as that. So do you think they will allocate a dedicated computer for us? No. They will have big computer with some memory. They will give a sharing basis, multi-tenant environment. In multi-tenant environment you have less flexibility. You can't go and tell Azure or Amazon to change certain system parameters depending on your requirement, because if they change it, it will get changed for everybody, which they will not allow you. So depending on your budget, you can also decide whether you want to be the only tenant in that. Say I pay for three beds in a PG. In a room in my PG, there are three beds. So either I go and share those three beds with three people, the cost will come down, or I pay myself for all three beds. Monthly rent equal to three beds rent. Then I am the only tenant living in that room of PG. So that's what multi-tenants and single tenant is. Clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
And
Okay. So
Arun,
And
and reduce the number of users. Let's say
sorry.
we took 100 users, complete 100 users domain, and then they want to add more users or reduce the number. Can we do that?
Yes, that's what the advantage of cloud. Remember, scalability is a good advantage, which is not with OP. In OP, if you want to add more users and more resources, you have to actually go and you have to also add also more hardware. You have to buy more licenses. It's costly. As and when you go and progress, it's costly. But when it comes to the cloud, you can scale faster. You can ask Amazon to add 100 gigs of more memory. They will do it for you in no time. Yeah, you will say I am having a license of 10 users right now, please add 10 more users. You start paying more fee. It's like data packs. So today you are having a 20 or 100 mbps internet speed with let's say 3000 gigabytes of data, high speed data. Tomorrow your data increases. Do you need to change your router? No. Just go to your internet service provider and ask them to add more data, more smart bytes to your data, right? And that way you will get more gigabytes of memory, sorry, more gigabytes of fast speed data. So it's as pay per go, pay as you go. So if you feel you need to scale up, you start paying more subscription fees monthly basis. Your business is increasing, your user base is increasing, you want more space, you want more processing, you pay as you go. Clear? So scalability is easier in cloud solutions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
guys, we'll take a quick break for 5 minutes and then we will take further questions towards the end. Okay, I'll go for a break. Please mute your line. Okay, everyone, back after the break. So let's get started and now discuss about what is SAP other solutions are all about. So before we do, we already know what is SAP Cloud Platform. Let me just bring that definition of SAP Cloud Platform also on the next slide. It's better that we keep it separate. So you already know what is Neo and what is Cloud Foundry. Neo, the infrastructure is owned by SAP, and Cloud Foundry, the infrastructure provider can be AWS. And we also saw where all the data centers and regions are, and in which data center and region what services is offered by SAP. So actually speaking, SAP Analytics Cloud is a software as a service which is also hosted or offered by SAP Cloud Platform. So what is the underlying computer, or what is the, sorry, what is the underlying platform on which this application is built? So this is an application, okay, just like Gmail, it's an application. So it's based on SAP Cloud Platform. It has both Neo and Cloud Foundry. Depending on the Neo and Cloud Foundry, features may differ. So Cloud Foundry has more features like predictive functionality, which you see in SAP Cloud Platform. SAP Analytics Cloud is offered by Neo only. So sorry, it's Cloud Foundry only. So whenever you have been asked which one to go for Cloud Foundry and go with the nearest region. You can already check that over there. Now, coming to the next discussion, which is what is HANA and what is S4 HANA. These terms we use very, very often. Now, they may be also confusing for some of you. So let's understand the difference between HANA and S4 HANA and what is it all about actually. So quickly, a little bit of definition part. What is HANA? HANA is stands for high performance analytical appliance. Okay, high performance analytical appliance. What is it actually? It is an in-memory database. What is an in-memory database? So typically, as you all know, with the basics of computer, all the data of which is stored in a computer is stored in hard disk, right? Hard disk. Now that will bring a bottleneck. Whenever you want to read the data from hard disk, it first come from hard disk to RAM, from RAM to CPU. So the performance of your overall computer depends on how fast you read data from hard disk to RAM. So one major factor. Now what SAP did is SAP said with the reduction of cost of memory over a period of time. So I remember my first MP3 player, which was 256 megabyte of memory. It used to store hardly 25 songs. I purchased it at a cost of let's say $100 in 2008. And today at $100 cost, I can get maybe up to 32 gigabytes of MP3 player, right? The memory cost has reduced significantly over a period of time. Now, this reduction in memory cost allows software vendors and designers to develop applications and softwares which can keep all the data in the RAM. So you don't have to now keep data in the hard disk, because a cheap memory, you can keep all the data in the RAM itself. That's what SAP did. They have designed a database technology which keeps all the data in the RAM. Unlike traditional database systems like Oracle, there they keep all the data in the hard disk. SAP HANA keeps all the data in memory, in RAM. Now, this gave amazing computational power to this system. So SAP developed a database called HANA. HANA stands for High Performance Analytical Appliance. So it's a in-memory database. It's a in-memory database. Now, after this database was designed, SAP also added more capability in this database, like programming support. You can also build programming programs on top of it, and you can run them. You can build a Java program, HANA Access program. You can run them also. And they also enabled built-in machine learning capability called ML. It comes under EML component, and this is what SAP has built in. They have also added predictive capability. It's called PAL, Predictive Analytics Library. So many other features and services they have added in this database. Hence, HANA is called now as platform, because a platform is what offers different variety of services. So the main function, though the main function of this database is to store your data. Of course, it is to store your data, but another things also it can do. Okay, so this has become very powerful over a period of time. This was released somewhere around 2012-13, and over last 7 to 8 years, it has tremendously come out very well. Okay, so it's a database. Now, if you really see typically any SAP application, if you ever worked with SAP ECC or SAP solutions, SAP ERP solution typically follows three-tier architecture. Okay, it follows three-tier architecture. What is three-tier architecture? It's called real-time three-tier. In these three tiers, there are three layers. The first layer is called presentation layer. This presentation layer is nothing but your SAP GUI. Then you have your application layer. This is also known as basis, SAP basis. There are basis consultants who work with this system setup, system administration, user creation. They work with that. And then there is the third layer called database layer, where your data is stored. So this is our three tiers, where you have some tool. Using this tool, you can connect to the server. Then this server is where all the processing is happening, application layer. And then finally, all the data which you have is actually stored in the database. So you remember input output. Whenever you learn a machine, input output, processing, and data. Correct? That's how we learn any engineering subject. So these are all the three-tier architecture. Till today, majority of SAP implementations were using Oracle, MaxDB, DB2, DB6, MySQL, different databases which are non-SAP databases. Okay, so actual SAP's capability is this application layer. This is what SAP focused the most till today, and this is what is called ECC. Okay, ECC is nothing but your middleware, your actual functionality. So ECC includes functionality for departments, like creating sales order, creating purchase order, creating materials. That's all is stored as ECC, enterprise core components, ECC. So this was the primarily the real ERP. So this basis is technical. This is nothing. It has nothing inside. Until you have ECC, you can't use a functionality. ECC is actually functionality. Functionality means your sales order creation, purchase order creation, your employee creation, it's processing employee salary, applying leave request, changing HR records, all promotions, travel, everything is managed by ECC. Now, what SAP did is they have said that now we have our own database. Why do we use other companies' database with our solutions? They change the database. They throw away these existing databases and they plugged in something called in-memory database, which is HANA. So this solution has become ECC on HANA, or also known as Suite on HANA. Okay, this is called Suite on HANA. So they removed the databases, other databases, and they said we have our own database now. We will use it. We will use with our solution this own database. So this becomes Suite on HANA, SAP ECC on HANA, where now you can utilize the powerful computation power of SAP HANA DB. So HANA, if you really see, is just a database. It's just a database. Of course, it has more capability, but it's mainly a database. It's working as a data store for your app. Actual functionality is here. Now, this functionality also SAP evolved over a period of time. You all know we all evolve, we all learn new things. These learnings we put it in the system. So SAP also evolved their ECC and they have got with a completely new ERP solution. And this new ERP solution is known as, which was introduced in 2015 and is going to be the future of ERP. So SAP introduced a new ERP solution, the future of ERP, and this new ERP solution is known as S4 HANA. So now this, instead of ECC, we call this solution as S4 HANA. What they did in S4 HANA, they have got new functionality. They have got new functionality. They are fully leveraging SAP HANA and they are offering new functionality like inbuilt machine learning, like smart analytics, embedded analytics, new data models, removing some of the old database tables, aggregate tables, because now aggregates can be calculated on fly. So basically just understand in a layman words, or in a normal terms, SAP evolved their ECC to a new solution, and this new solution is known as S4 HANA. Why HANA is here? Because this solution only and only and only works on HANA DB. It does not work on any other database. So ECC can work on other databases also. It can work on HANA, or you can use other databases also. But when it comes to S4 HANA, it only and only works on HANA database. So HANA is just playing as a database. The name of this solution is called S4 HANA. So when somebody asks what is S4 HANA, it's SAP's new ERP introduced in 2015 and it's replacing ECC. So S4 HANA is a solution, is a ERP solution, is a latest SAP's ERP solution, I would say. So today, if you are a company, if you're owner of a company, suppose you are running a big manufacturing company, in order to integrate your departments in your company, you need a software, and SAP is the leader in ERP. So if you go to SAP and ask SAP, hey SAP, can you give me a ERP software? What do you think SAP will give you? They will give you SAP S4 HANA. So S4 HANA is the solution. HANA is a database. Are you clear what is HANA? HANA is just one component of this entire solution. It's just a database. S4 HANA is the solution. So this entire solution is called as S4 HANA. So it's latest ERP solution introduced in 2015. Now what is the advantage? How it is better than ECC? It also offers two ways. of deployment. One is S4HANA on-premise, which is just called S4HANA. Second is called S4HANA Cloud. So you can also use this solution directly in the cloud where you don't have to buy any hardware, anything. You can directly ask SAP, give me S4HANA Cloud. If I'm a small company, I don't have a big budget. I can't have so big infrastructure. I can't have data centers. I can't do that. I go to SAP and say, can you give me something use and throw types? They will give you SAP S4HANA Cloud. So there you don't have to actually install anything. It's a cloud solution like we discussed already. And this one is an on-premise solution in which now you need hardware, you need bases, you need teams. So you need everything in this like your ECC world. But the only difference how it is different from ECC is latest functionality, latest feature, latest ERP with HANA as their primary DB. It cannot work on other database. It only works on HANA. And as for HANA Cloud, it's of course working behind the scene on HANA, but it's offered as a cloud, as a service, ERP as a service, not as a on-premise. So that's about HANA and S4 HANA. Okay. Now there is a lot. I have a dedicated course on Anubhav trainings. Those who are willing to learn S4 HANA, I have two dedicated courses on S4 HANA, both S4 HANA on-premise and S4 HANA Cloud I offer. So if you see this ABAP on HANA come S4HANA technical training, this is my training on S4HANA and ABAP on HANA. You wanted to learn, you can subscribe this course. It's a complete dedicated Power Pack 40-hour training on ABAP on HANA come S4HANA, which is on premise. And I also have S4HANA cloud course also available. So you get everything with me. Complete experience you can learn with us. You see S4HANA cloud extensions course. So we have both courses separately available. This course is focusing analytics cloud, not S4HANA. So I cannot be unfair to you and I start teaching these things here in this course. That will be unfair to you. You are here to learn analytics cloud, not S4HANA. And I hope that's the expectation. But just wanted to give you an introduction. Now, since this layer is changed to HANA, this layer changed to S4HANA, mainly the functionality also changed. There is also a change in this layer. Earlier, we used to use solutions in SAP GUI. Even today, some of the solutions, so this is SAP solution. This is an S4HANA solution system. You can see here. We're going to also learn integration with S4HANA in our coming chapter in this course. Don't worry. So I'll also show you integration with S4HANA with Analytics Cloud. But this is where your company use ERP. This is SAP GUI. Now, with the modern world, most of the people are using their applications on mobile. Now, SAP GUI does not work on mobile. Does not. So SAP introduced a new presentation also called SAP Fiori. So you might have heard about Fiori. Fiori is new SAP's presentation layer. It's basically front-end technology, which is web-based and responsive. Responsive means an application. What is a responsive application? An application which adapt itself according to device. That's called responsive application. So Fiori is the new SAP's front-end technology which allows you to build applications which can run on browser, mobile and tablet. And it adapt single code. You write only one code. This one code works for all devices, all browsers, all operating systems. Can you imagine the power? So with S4HANA, the default user experience is Fiori. All the sales order creation, purchase order creation, everything you do with Fiori apps. So SAP gives a lot of Fiori apps. You use them. So in ECC, we had no Fiori apps. But with S4HANA, you get all the applications enabled with powered by Fiori. So Fiori is user's experience. You can run them on mobile, tablet, desktop, any browser, Mozilla, Firefox, Chrome, Edge, Internet Explorer, Safari, Mac, Windows, Android, any operating system, any browser, any device you can run. That's the greatest advantage due to change in the industry, change in the trend in industry. Most of the applications these days are consumed over the mobile phones. SAP introduced this. I also have dedicated courses on SAP Fiori. Those who are willing to learn SAP Fiori, please subscribe my UI5 and Fiori development course. If you're interested in coding in UI5 Fiori apps, you can subscribe this course. Again, I would repeat, The course which you are taking currently is not focusing on Fiori. It's not focusing on Fiori security. There are dedicated courses for these. Those who are willing to learn development, how to build a Fiori app, you can subscribe my UI5 and Fiori training. You guys are here for analytics cloud. You are not here for Fiori learning. You are not here for learning S4 HANA. You are not here for learning HANA. You are here to learn analytics cloud. But sometimes these words may come at front of you, so it should not confuse you. Now, there's one more myth which is there around the world, that is Fiori app only work on S4? No, Fiori is a technology. Now, this technology you can use to build any screen for anything. In fact, one surprising fact I'll tell you, if you see this SAP Analytics Cloud screen, it's actually a Fiori based UI. It's a Fiori app. Yes, it's a Fiori screen. So if you see now, this entire thing, what you see on your screen, SAP Analytics Cloud screen, it's a Fiori actually. It's a Fiori user experience. How do we know? We press Control Alt Shift P on this screen. Control Alt Shift P is the shortcut. So if I come to this screen and press Control Alt Shift P, okay, it's not opening, but ideally it should open. So it will tell me which version of Fiori it is using. Okay, which version of SAP Fiori it is using. Anyway, I can also right click and go to inspect option. And if you come inside the inspect option, you will see here inside this inspect option different controls which you see, and they all belongs to SAP Fiori. If you just quickly browse something, so don't worry guys, how do I get this screen? We'll see this in the next class. Right now you don't worry about all this, but if you just quickly come inside, you see SAP UI. Can you see this SAP UI? This is indicating that it's a Fiori. Okay, you see SAP UI, SAP UI JS view. Yeah, JavaScript view. It's a SAP UI5 application, which is actually Fiori user experience. So whenever you see an SAP, this analytics cloud, it's actually Fiori based. The design principles are Fiori based. It's completely Fiori based. So that's why you may get confused sometimes. Fiori is the technology to build new front end with SAP world. So I hope this clarifies the difference between HANA and S4HANA. HANA is the database, S4HANA is a solution. This entire solution which you see now, all three layers together is called S4HANA. The main backbone of this is HANA database. HANA is a database. Okay, so I hope this is clear now. Now coming to the next question, what do we do with this solution? How this solution work together? So what, let's say, consider an example. I am a big company like Walmart. So Walmart has different stores in United States at different regions. So Walmart has a store in Miami. They have one on Santa Clara. Then I have one on King County. And then I have in New York City or LA. Now I have different stores. I am a big brand like Walmart and I am using SAP ERP. Now I have implemented SAP ERP in my company and I have data. I've implemented S4HANA. So I have all my data in these different solutions. These are different subsidiaries or different marts I have. Now all of these marts are writing data to one single database, which is SAP HANA, because I'm using S4 HANA. So all these data centers are writing data to this SAP HANA in USA. In USA. Yeah. Now Walmart also purchased Flipkart, as you all know, in India. They bought a very expensive deal. They purchased Flipkart. So technically speaking, Flipkart, which you see in India, is also a unit of Walmart now. So whatever revenue Flipkart is making, that is also counted as Walmart's revenue, correct? So similarly, let's say in India, they have different stores. They have also implemented S4HANA in India, and likewise, let's say in Brazil and South Africa. Now all the data is in this HANA DB. Together with that, they have also, let's say, other solutions like Oracle, PeopleSoft, other different solutions. These different company, the Walmart has. Now, what does the Walmart want to do? Walmart CEO, Walmart CEO want to know what is my total global sales? What is my total global sales across the whole world? Now, if you understand, there are different solutions they are using, Oracle, PeopleSoft, XYZ, and the data is stored in these different solutions. Now, in order to find out the total sales across entire Walmart, they need to now they need to now bring this data from all these different solutions like Oracle, PeopleSoft, Barn, Tally. They may be using Tally because Tally is used very famously in India as accounting software. So a lot of different solutions Walmart is using in different countries. Now all this data needs to converge at one place. Why? Because my CEO wants to know what is my total sales, or my CEO wants to know what is the region wise sales, country wise sales, which country is giving highest amount of sales, which country has highest potential to go further. So all these things I want to know. So basically what happens, all this data which is there at different data sources, we bring them in a one single system. Now can you imagine the size of this system where you bring all this data? It has to be humongous. It has to be humongous, right? And that's why it's called warehouse. Now what kind of warehouse it is? It is data warehouse, right? So data warehouse is called SAP BW, business warehouse. So SAP BW is a software or a solution. It's an on-premise software. First of all, this software will allow you to store data from all different sources to bring together in one single software. That's called SAP BW. Are you clear difference between S4HANA and BW? S4HANA is used here. This is your S4HANA. This software is basically an ERP software. Now, likewise, your company have different ERP, different softwares. You bring data from all these software together in one single big warehouse. That's called business warehouse. Now, the process to bring this data from different system and sources in business warehouse, this process is called ETL. What is called ETL? ETL. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. Basically, you are extracting data from sources. You are transforming. Transforming why? Because your data may be in different currencies. It's not possible if I add Indian rupees with US dollar and I tell you what is my total sales in my business. Not fair. You have to transform. Transformation also means currency conversion, date conversion, unit conversion. Yeah, different rules applying taxes. In India we have GST system. In US we have different systems. So you have to do all transformation, and then you do loading. Finally you load data. So this is a big warehouse of data where all the data from different source comes and converge. So that's one single system which SAP, which is also offered, SAP BW. Now data has come, you're happy. What will you do is this data? If I open billions and billions and billions of sales records, will you be able to understand anything? No, no, nobody. If I just open a data set of BW, you see billions and billions and billions of records. Your CEO, neither me, neither you, no one in the world can understand the pattern out of it. No one. It has of no use. Okay. So you got a crude oil. This crude oil you can't put in your petrol car. You need to process this crude oil to take out the petrol so that you can feed that to your car. If you put crude oil in your car will blast. It's a crude oil. It's a crude raw data in form of records, billions and billions of records stored in BW system. Now you cannot make out any decision on this. Now what you need to do? First of all, data is stored in tables, database tables. Now what you need to do is you need to combine these multiple database tables together. Okay. So you need to say my data, how my data is interrelated, how it is connected. So you have to do this. This process is called as modeling. Okay, data is distributed in multiple tables. You need to take out some relationship first of all between this data. It's called modeling. Now once you model the data, this data is prepared. Now this model can be consumed in different system, and these different system is called BobJ or SAP BI. What you need to do is you need to go inside, read this model and take out some informed decision in form of charts. So SAP offers two solutions. One is SAP BobJ Business Objects. In business objects, we have different sub areas like Crystal Report, BobJ Dashboard, BobJ Data Analyzer. So a lot of these things are there. So what you do is you connect your BobJ system with SAP BW system. You connect it using different connection methods. I'm not going to go into each of these solutions and explain you, but just understand the over big picture. So what you do with BI and BobJ, you will connect these systems with your BW system, and you read these models which are created in BW. Or you can also read the raw data also. Both are possible. You can read either raw data or you can read this intelligent models also. And once you get read this data, now using the techniques and software and tools available in BobJ and BI, you can project this data. You can take out informed decision. Let's say, for example, if I am Walmart, I want to know how many laptops were sold during Thanksgiving days. What is the sales of my iPhones as compared to other smartphones in the market? So all of this you can do it analysis on top of this BobJ and BI actually. Okay, so you will take out finally some beautiful dashboards, some pie charts, yeah, some graphical charts. So all this you do it using this SAP BI and BobJ software. So you understood, first we get data, humongous data comes here, we do modeling, we read this model using BI and BobJ depending on your choice. So both do same thing. So basically why they are doing same thing and why they are two then? SAP BI is native SAP solution which was there since many years. SAP in 2008 acquired a company called Business Objects. It was Paris based company. They acquired it and then they position it also as another software to do analytics. So BobJ and SAP BI both are the solutions. Business intelligence, BI means intelligence. You go inside this data, you take out some informed decisions, you analyze patterns. These patterns will help you to take better decisions for future. So I hope this entire flow is clear. What is S4HANA, what is HANA, what is BW, what is modeling, what is ETL, and what is BI and BobJ. So this processing with BobJ and BI is doing on top of this system is called OLAP processing. OLAP processing. OLAP stands for online analytical processing. These are SAP solutions. Now, guys, SAP is not the only company in the ERP space. There are other companies like IBM, Oracle. They are also building these kind of solutions. So there are companies who are also building these kind of solutions, which we will also discuss in coming days. What are all some of the solution names and why? What is happening now in the trending industry? So guys, all of these which you see here in this entire diagram, these are all on-premise solutions, which means even I am a small company, to implement this I need to have big IT budget because they are all on premise. I need to buy hardware, I need to hire people, I need to hire security, I need to do networking, I need to set up operating systems, I need to set up every single thing. Everything I need to do, everything I need to set up, upfront cost is very high. If I want to take out informed decision for my business, I need to set up all of this on-premise solution. Clear everyone? What is BO? What is BI? What is BW? What is S4? What is HANA? This is how they work together. In a large corporation like Nestle, ONGC, Reliance, This is how all these solutions they buy from SAP as on-premise solutions. And today, some of you are working either here, either here, or here, or here, or here. Some of you are working on one of these areas today. Okay, so that's all solution. There is one more solution called BPC. Okay, what is BPC? BPC stands for Business Planning and Consolidation System. Okay, it's a completely different product. Okay, it's a completely different product. Now, what does BPC do? BPC is mainly used for planning and consolidation. What is planning and what is consolidation? Right now, I'm not giving you definition for these two, the official definition, but just understand as a company, my main goal is to make profit. I'm not running a charity. Every company you look at, they are running for profit. Okay, they're running for profit. They are not NGOs, they're companies, they're corporations. They're running for profit, they're running behind profit, making money, right? When you want to make money, you need to have some plan, some thought in your mind that I want to make this much money with this much of resources. Today I have this many computers, this much of buildings, this much of assets, this much of liabilities, this much of loans, this many of employees. This is the salary cost, this is the HR cost, this is the finance cost, this is the travel cost, this is the employee management cost, this is the hardware cost. I need to somehow make my balance sheet, yeah, so that I can make a better decision to be able to plan my future investments. And I need to also report for compliance reason, country compliance, share market compliance. I need to report my numbers, quarterly numbers. How much was the profit last quarter? How much is the increase in quarter on quarter revenue? Do you see all these TV news channels? They will report company numbers. How does that happen? All of that comes under planning, making balance sheets, preparing future business plans to actually grow your business. All of this is planning capability what BPC offers. SAP solution. What is consolidation? I am a big company, but I have small subsidiaries. Do you know, guys, Gillette? Is Gillette a company? No. Gillette is just a subsidiary. It's a brand of a big company called Procter and Gamble's. Yes, Procter. Nobody heard about Procter and Gamble's. They heard about Gillette, but they don't know that it's a brand of Procter and Gamble's. It's a very big corporation. Procter and Gamble. So they have so many brands inside. If you really see, you might have heard about these products. They are all Procter and Gamble products. Tide washing powder, right? So if you see this Booty, then you have this Popto, Oral B, the toothbrush. It's a brand. Head and Shoulders, Pantene. What do you think they are? They all belongs to Procter and Gamble's. Gillette, you see. So Pampers for children diapers, Lacoste, they all are belongs to Procter and Gamble. These are all different subsidiaries of Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble. Clear, everybody? All these products which we use on our daily life, they all belongs to Procter and Gamble. So it's a big company. It's an organization. It's a mammoth. They have subsidiaries. Now, if as a Procter and Gamble CEO, I want to know what is my how my each subsidiary is doing. If I want to acquire a different company today, what is the impact of that on my business numbers? If I hire this company, let's say if I acquire this company, what will happen to my numbers? Will it increase or will it go down? Because if I acquire that company, I will also get customers of that company. So how much increase will be there in my customers? And as a result of increase in customer, how much will be the impact on my business? Will I also make more profit? Can I make more profit with that? Is this acquisition which I'm going to do, is it profitable for me? That's called consolidation. So a BPC system in SAP world helps you to do planning and consolidation. I hope you got basic idea. Now SAP Analytics Cloud, if you really look at, it covers so many functionality actually. It will touch some functionality of some of these things, all of this together in one single solution called SAC. Yes, yes guys, yes. That's why learning SAC is going to add a lot to your resume. You're gonna get great benefit learning SAC, because we're gonna do planning, we're gonna do BI, we're gonna do also BobJ features, we're gonna do data warehousing, this transformation things, modeling things, lot of these things we're gonna do using SSC in coming days. As and when I go to each feature, I will explain you which feature is that. So then the important question comes, what's the strategy? Will, since you are saying that Bob J and BI things you can do with SSC, BPC things you can do with SSC, BW things you can do with SSC, what will happen to these solutions then? Are these solutions going to get dismantled permanently? Will SAP discontinue this solution? What will happen? What's the strategy? What's the strategy going forward? With that, I'm done with today's class. Next class, we'll start with this strategy, how the strategy is building up, what will happen to BPC, which case you should propose BPC, which case you should propose Analytics Cloud, what are all the different use cases and synergies with respect to SAP Analytics Cloud. I hope you enjoyed today's class. Time for your questions one by one. Go ahead, please.
Anubhav, is BPC a separate box or it
Yes,
runs on?
it's a separate box, separate solution altogether. SAP sell different license for BPC separately. Your company can buy it.
And from where does it take the data? It takes the data from ECC database or BI
It
database?
has it's again a three SAP system with three-tier architecture. It has its own database, and you can port database from a different system to BPC also. Just like you bring.
That means we have,
Mhm.
at least we have to do the ETL for BPC also, like for BI.
Yes, yes, you have to also do kind of a ETL for BPC also, because your
Anubhav, migrate.
different subsidiaries are in different countries, so they share different currency codes. So to report a financial numbers, GFRS numbers, then you need to bring everything in a single currency, right? So you have to also do that. Yes, please. Next question.
It will migrate object reports to Analytical Cloud.
Okay, let's park this question at the moment. Let us park this question. So guys, when you go to doctor for first day, will doctor give you a very heavy dose of injection? Never. Doctor will diagnose your problem. It will ask you symptoms, and then it will understand the disease. And slowly, when the disease is caught, daily every single follow up with the doctor, it will increase the dose of antibiotic to your body. So your body doesn't collapse, rather it responds towards the disease. Same thing is happening with you and me. I'm your doctor, you are my patient. You come to today's first session with me. I cannot give you heavy dose of antibiotic. Very next day you will say, Anubhav, what is he teaching? Not able to understand anything. I'll not go for class. Not happen with me. We will go slow. Little dose of antibiotic every day. That's where you will learn things rather than getting bored of this course. I promise you will become expert on Analytics Cloud by end of this course. I promise you. But please allow me, sometime I may have to park your questions because they are heavy dose of antibiotic. You can't understand that immediately without understanding certain other things. Okay, so please allow me some more time. Your questions will be answered, but I need to reach to that unit where I will cover that topic. So some questions I may park it, please don't mind. Allow me to proceed. We will reach to the right chapter. Your questions will naturally be answered. This was our first session, and I believe we should start with foundation. I will work on my students' root, because once the roots are strong, fruits will naturally be strong. Next question related to today's discussion. Anything?
Anubhav, can this SAP HANA or Analytics Cloud, can they hold unstructured data?
Yes, in HANA we have also doc store concept which can hold unstructured data also. So we can have both structured and unstructured data. Now we have also got JSON store with which you can have any unstructured data stored. But for processing the data, has to be in structured format. Okay, data should be in structured format. To process data better way, it should be structured. not in unstructured format.
Okay. So even Analytics Cloud can handle that. Okay.
Yes, we will learn transformation techniques in SAC when I'll show you modeling. We also have modeling feature in SAC. We're gonna learn that in our
Mm-hmm.
coming days. There's a lot to come. This is just the beginning. Today was our first session.
Yeah, got it.
So,
Thanks.
so we have having the SAP Lumira Web ID. So are these the example of the BobJ or the SAP BI?
So Lumira is a separate product. Tomorrow when I show you the strategy of SAC, you will understand that how Lumira is converging, how BobJ is converging, how BW is converging, how BPC is converging. In which case you should go with BPC already, or in which case you can propose SAP Analytics Cloud to your customers. So that is part of tomorrow's class. We'll discuss strategy.
And one more thing is like in the application layer in your previous slide, you mentioned basis. So I believe all the SAP consultant will be working on the application layer, isn't it?
No, some consultant work with HANA also. Those are called HANA consultants. Some consultant work on only presentation layer. They are called SAP UI5 developers and Fiori developers. Some consultant work on only basis, maintaining users in SAP system, making security, roles, username, checking system health, enabling multiple database connections, taking care of authorizations, checking system health, performance tuning. All this is basis work.
I mean the developer.
Developer work with ABAP, UI5 Fiori, Gateway, Launchpad, OData services. That's a different set of work. So now I understand your curiosity. Some of you would want to learn everything. You want to become a full stack developer. You want to work with this, and this. No problem. I have courses for that. You can subscribe my UI5 Fiori course to become a UI front-end developer. You become a batsman. You subscribe my this course, Fiori Security and Advanced Fiori with basis and authorization. You become a fielder. And you subscribe my ABAP on HANA Come for HANA course. In this, you will learn HANA development plus how to build CDS views, AMDP, ADBC, and you become a baller. So once you become a baller, you fielder and a batsman, you become an all-rounder. It's your choice how deep you want to go. How deep you want to go. It's your choice. You can subscribe. All majority of people today, they are going with all three. They've, those who want to become coder or developer, they are going with all three actually to become a full stack developer. Some of you already attended my three courses and you're here today with Analytics Cloud. So our main persona, our main goal, our focus is Analytics Cloud. Our main goal is to not learn S4 HANA, as I already explained it. If the goal is to learn S4 HANA, sorry, you are in a wrong course. Please subscribe my ABAP on HANA Come S4 HANA course. You are at a wrong place. If your goal is Analytics Cloud and how these current solutions are converging to Analytics Cloud, in which case you propose what to your company or your company already bought Analytics Cloud, then this course is the right course for you. Or if you're just a beginner, if you're just a beginner with SAP world without any programming skill, you want to learn something to start your career in SAP with, you can start with Analytics Cloud. You're a functional consultant or you know about SAP a little bit, but you never worked with anything. You wanted to start and learn something which helps you and adds you to your resume to get a better opportunity. This course is for you, SAP Analytics Cloud. There's a lot we're going to learn. This was just a session on terminologies and understanding of different systems. Please go through the video after 3 o'clock as a repeat. Please prepare your notes also so that you can follow up through the classes, because these discussions, these topics are very important. Next question, please.
Anubhav, I have one question. Like, suppose my
Anubhav, you'll be teaching BPC too with Analytic Cloud.
Please do not interrupt. There was some other question. Can we take that first? Yes.
thank you, Anubhav.
Yes.
Actually, what I was asking, suppose my organization wants to use two services offered by Cloud Foundry, but one of the services is offered by AWS and the other one is by GCP. So do I need to explicitly take subscription from AWS as well as GCP, or in the back end it will be taken care of by SAP and we just have to subscribe to the services itself?
Very good question. So if your company already has AWS, you can go to SAP and say, I already have bought AWS. Does that meet the system requirement to run SAC? If it does, SAP will reuse your AWS, which is managed by your company only directly, and they will implement PaaS, platform as a service, which is Cloud Foundry on that AWS. They will plug that and they will put SAC on that, and you pay for SAC plus separately you pay for AWS. That is option one. Option two, you simply go in SAP and say, I need a SAP Analytics Cloud. They will provision everything behind the scene, including AWS. Whatever bare minimum AWS requirement they have, depending on your need, they will provision it. So both options are available for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
There is a question now. I'll take it. The BPC. Will you be teaching BPC? No, I'm not a BPC expert, nor I will be teaching BPC, but I will be touching the use cases for planning and consolidation. So guys, understand, we are not going to focus on solution like S4, BPC. Rather, we're going to understand the what will happen to this solution when SAC came in. Point one. Point two, what are all the use cases they offer? Like use cases planning. So we're going to see planning use case with SAC. Here use case is analytics, doing OLAP. What is the use case for OLAP? We're going to do OLAP. We're not going to learn BobJ. We're not going to do that. If I start teaching BobJ, 40-hour BobJ course, 40-hour BI course, 40-hour BW course, 40-hour SAP HANA course, 40-hour S4 HANA course, 40-hour BPC course. These are all different modules, different courses. Our job is to learn SAC and how SAC is complementing these solutions. What are all synergies you can make? Can I take data from existing BW system in SAC? That will be our goal. Our goal will be understanding the use cases and how to implement these use cases using SAC. That will be our goal. I hope this is clear, guys. Our main goal will be focusing on use cases, not on these solutions. Yet, there are some use cases where we need to fetch data from these solutions which are already there in your company. That is called live data connection. We're going to cover that also in our course. How to connect with BPC, BW, and S4 HANA and HANA. That is covered in this course, which is very later, not early, not so early. Heavy dose of antibiotic. Other questions before we close? If you don't have question, it's fine. No need to unnecessarily create pressure and ask questions. You can also ask questions in chat window. Do we have infrastructure in SAP company? Do we have infrastructure in SAP company? Yes, the Neo which you saw in Cloud Foundry, sorry, the Neo which you saw in SAP Cloud Platform, that is owned by SAP. SAP owns the infrastructure here. You see IaaS. Infrastructure is owned by SAP in case of Neo. But Neo offers very limited features. The latest is Cloud Foundry, which offers better features. And in fact, SAP Analytics Cloud, all the features are available with Cloud Foundry. You should go with this one. Okay.
Is it possible to switch from multi-tenant to single tenant or not? As you mentioned, like that in data center, we can't do any changes.
So it depends. Suppose when you are going for buying SAC subscription, SAP will ask you, would you want, how do you want the cost? So by default, everything is multi-tenant. So multi-tenant doesn't mean you go and check, okay, this guy is also using it. You will not know that because there is a clear separation behind the scene using multi-tenant data containers at the database level. So one tenant can never ever see data of another tenant. It's like, you're living in a room with your roommates in PG and they all have their dedicated cupboards where they're keeping all their clothings, books, and all their necessary belongings is kept in separate cupboards. So it's exactly like that. You are sharing, but you never realize that there is somebody else, other tenant also living in the same. And that's how SAP optimize the cost of those expensive systems. And you also get a win-win situation, better benefit, cheaper subscription service. So if you really see, SAP Analytics Cloud subscription is just $22 a month per user. I'll show you that also. It's so cheaper for a big company like Nestle, Oracle, Colgate. It's like, peanuts. It's like peanuts. $22 a month. What is it? Nothing. For a productive SAP Analytics Cloud subscription, $22 a month is nothing actually. It's just like, 2,500 rupees. My car consume more fuel than that in a month. So it's so cheaper. How that cost effectiveness has achieved? By enabling multi-tenant environment, sharing the resources. Sharing doesn't mean you'll not see still that it's shared by whom. You will never see that. Okay. What is back's query?
So the
Back's query is nothing but it's a model created in BW system. So you design a back's query to create this relationship and create a model. It's a query which joins multiple data sources together to take out some meaningful outcomes. We will also learn how to connect a back's query and show the data from back's query to SAC. If I can arrange a BW system, then I'll show that. Next question. Okay, no questions? Cool. So you will see the recording of this video after 3 p.m. in our training block. Thank you so much for watching. One last